We're back in action. This is episode 4. For those of you keeping count.
No, nobody is. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I am.
So the show is Vinyl with Taste, but today we're talking about our favorite music books or music-related books. A little something different.
I'm gonna let you start.
All right. Well, let me go right to it. So musical biographies are great. I devour them, and one of my favorites I ever read was Hellfire by Nick Tosches. It was about Jerry Lee Lewis, and it was written around 1982 or 3, as I recall, when the killer was still very much messing with toxic chemicals, and it didn't, you didn't know if he was going to live or die. And the book is full of wild, sordid tales of rock and roll excess.
What, he was?
Yeah. I mean, Jerry Lee Lewis. I mean, the events in this book detail things like, him shooting his bass player on an airplane, things like that.
Messing with toxic chemicals.
I mean, his drug intake.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I know my grandmother liked him, but I don't know a lot about him.
Yeah, well, he, at the time this book came out, didn't have any surviving children. Because,
Did you show it to the...
Oh, yeah, Hellfire.
All I know about is the cousin thing, which, everybody knows about.
Oh, yeah.
And
Sure.
I don't know how true that is, if it's like a cousin, or if it's
It was, it wasn't...
half cousin.
It wasn't a blood cousin, it was a, second non-blood cousin, but it doesn't matter. She was young, but in Faraday, Louisiana, people did tend to get married pretty young.
To their cousins?
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about Faraday, Louisiana. I'm not going to defend it. I'm just saying the man is a product of his place and time.
Yeah, sure.
That's all I can really say.
No, I'm not. Hey, I got no problems with marrying your cousin. I just don't.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's going to give me any angry comments about that.
All right. Anyway, ultimately, Jerry Lee Lewis, still alive, outlasted the author, Nick Tosches.
Is he still alive?
No, the author died this year. Or not this year, 2020. He died last year, rather. But he was a great writer, and he really did a good job with that rock and roll biography of Jerry Lee.
Nice.
That's my first
strong
one.
start. Strong start. See, I don't know where to start. That's the issue.
God, there's so many books. We're looking down. You guys can't see up. There's a big old pile of books.
We'll start with this one because I told you about this like a couple of times, 2 or 3 times. The David Rodigan book.
David Rodigan being
Catholic,
the British
military brat,
dance, Jamaican music enthusiast.
Roots, rockers style reggae into the fucking dancehall stuff too, dub stuff. Still going strong. You should follow his Instagram. It's I thought he had retired. It's what this book made it sound like was going to happen. But looking at his Instagram, he's still doing shows and still maybe he was going to. But it's interesting.
I'd like to go see David Rodigan spin.
Hell yeah, man! That would be awesome.
Does he even come to the United States?
Well, he goes everywhere.
I know he goes to Jamaica. He's all over England.
He does a lot of festivals.
Okay.
I would go see festival music for that.
Yeah.
It's got cool. I'm sure you would too. Come on now.
Yeah.
Right. I think he looks better there than he does like there. And he's like starting to bald. And he's got that funky mustache.
Oh yeah, he looks a lot creepier before he just shaved it all.
No, he just looks like a normal old dude. See, I think I'd look good bald if I was older, if I had the older face. Not now. Because I've done it. I'm going to talk about that and then this in succession. The
People
Lee
Funny
Perry.
Boy, the Dave Katz Lee
is,
Scratch Perry book.
You know how I found out about this?
What?
I read a little part of it in one of my Lee Perry CDs. One of the newer post-2000s ones where they had a snippet of it in the booklet.
Oh, okay.
And well, maybe it wasn't post 2000s. Maybe it was a 90s one for sure.
Okay.
And I'm like, I have to. That sounds. I should try to get the book. It was a library book, so it wasn't like,
I've heard good things about that book.
It's good.
I'd like
it's
to read
cool.
that. Yeah.
It's actually how I ended up meeting Castle, because he saw that I was reading this, and he asked if I he said that he'd seen Lee Perry before, and then we started talking about record collecting, and then oddly enough, psychic TV and noise, and like he seemed to know everything about. And he's like from Vermont. He's not from here.
Okay.
That's interesting.
Interesting.
Let's talk about something that we both got.
Oh, okay. England's Dreaming.
Right.
We both got that one.
Yours is in much better condition than mine.
I first read this book, I was like 18. It was 1992. And it's a very good punk history, especially for the British punk side of things. Although it does delve into New York and America. But
it sure does. It does.
You know,
it does.
The coolest thing about this book, England's Dreaming, it's worth the price of the book for the discography at the end of the book. I spent my entire adult life chasing the records and the discography at the back of this book. Everything from, it starts out from the 50s and the rockabilly to the 60s psychedelic. To
some reggae in there.
It goes through reggae, it goes through punk, it goes through post-punk, it goes through ambient, noise, everything. And it's just a really, it's really well written, and the discography. I'm still buying things from the discography in this book. I still don't have it all. I'll probably be spending a lot of money for the rest of my life doing that. But anyway, John Savage and his exhaustive punk history.
Man, I wish I was more organized, but I'm going through my book collection.
And when we talked about this last Friday, I'm like, I got to get this shit out of the closet because it's in like one corner, and then it's in the other corner, and then it's up there. I'm gonna put it all up there in that shelf thing because there's plenty of room up there.
Okay.
I don't think that shouldn't be too heavy. I don't know what the max weight on that is. Strange. But you can't talk about England's Dreaming without talking about Please Kill Me.
Oh, here's the other side, the New York version.
And right. They can't talk about they talk about the English stuff just like, But this is great. I read this the first time I read this. It was I got sent home for snow, years ago, like 3 or 4 feet of snow, and I could not put it down.
Yeah, it's another well-written book, Legs McNeil, and really is a pretty exhaustive, uncensored oral history of the New York scene.
I like how it's written though. It's like people it's pretty much just like people telling stories.
Yeah, that was a good one. I used to have that book. I'm missing so many of my books.
This is the 20th anniversary. So when did this one come out? Because the first time I read it, I borrowed it.
It came out in the. I'm pretty sure that was a 1990s book.
The 20th re-edition.
Oh, this is
the 20th.
Oh, this is updated.
So
okay.
It is an updated one.
20th anniversary is definitely got to be 90s. Very nice.
I remember when I bought it. Oh God, what next?
I'm gonna make a pile of what we.
Yeah, I gotta do that.
What we brushed upon. Did I ever let you borrow that one? The Trojan?
No. Young Gift.
Are you sure?
Black, Trojan Records. I never
Because we were
read that book in my life.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
We were hanging out when I got this.
No kidding.
We were. I know I brought it to you because it came with a CD.
Ah. Okay. Yeah.
It is like if you're not really into reggae, it can come off as a dry read.
Well, I would like that book.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, I must have been. I don't really remember. What nice color photos I see.
I know, like.
Now Trojan, the record label. They have some really good material. I mean, God, they have reams of material.
Yeah, so much.
But I mean,
they have some not so great material too, though.
They like putting out the same stuff over and over again, don't they? Though.
Yeah.
Trojan does.
They do.
Are
they still going?
Yeah, now they're called Sanctuary, I think, or at least they were. Never mind.
They were.
When I say they are, I mean 20. At the turn of the 2000s, they were Sanctuary.
Where they had like punk stuff and.
Yeah. And they had like they were
collections.
They were doing the budget boxes, like the Trojan dub set, the Trojan dancehall set, and all that.
Rockabilly set.
So this is continuing with my rock biographies. This is Belinda Carlisle's. It's called Lips Unsealed.
I love the cover, though.
Oh yeah.
It looks like she looks like a fucking model.
Oh yeah, she's definitely hot. You know, I'm definitely Team Belinda.
So we'll talk. So what's in the book?
Well, it talks about her growing up in California, her being introduced to alternative music by way of
Yeah, LA,
Iggy
right?
Pop's Raw Power, and her
Bowie.
being,
I'm sure she was a
and Bowie, and
Bowie-ite.
the early LA punk scene with when she was the Germs' first drummer, and then the early Go Go's, and then all through the Go Go's years and their successes and their fights and their drugs, and it ends around 2010, and she's like barely sober. You know, she's still
in 2010.
yeah, she's still barely sober. She's
How old is she now?
well, now she's pushing 60, I think.
She's hot.
Yeah.
Do you think like Darby Crash? You think people would be like, man, he's handsome for a 60-year-old?
I don't know.
Pat Smear. I don't know if you could say that. People could say that about him.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure he'll
Yeah.
find a nice young man or lady or whatever the hell.
Yeah. You know, I was hanging out with one of my neighbors the other day, and they were saying one of the coolest things about Kurt Cobain was that he made Pat Smear a rock star. You know,
I guess that's.
deservedly so, because Pat Smear was like a very pioneering punk guitar player.
Like I want to say something ignorant towards that, but it's kind of true.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Because the Foo Fighters, he was in that.
Yeah.
Because you know he had like 2 or 3 solo albums before that, and you know they did bomb.
Oh yeah.
You ever heard?
No.
And they're not good either.
No, I never heard of.
Don't waste your time.
You want me to do another rock biography?
I want you to do. Well, you got to talk about that Cheetah Chrome book.
Oh yeah. So this is one.
I've never seen. It's Slash is on the talking about it.
Yeah, the quote, this is the Cheetah Chrome autobiography called A Dead Boy's Tale from the front lines of punk rock. And the review of the book, or the review from Slash, says, Cheetah Chrome is one of the true icons of rock and roll, and the sooner more people get that through their fucking heads, the better.
Expletive delete.
Right. Sorry.
No, I don't care.
And then, but yeah, this is a book I borrowed from my son's guitar teacher, Eddie, and I've been reading it.
No, he watches these, so
Okay.
I'm just saying he's got good
Yeah.
taste in books.
Yeah, but this is a great book, you know.
Do they call him fat? And you should comment, Fast Eddie. Do they call you that because of the Motorhead guy, or because you're a fast talker,
or the character from The Hustler,
or is it that?
you know, the Paul Newman character.
So that's his book.
Yes,
Nice.
but it's definitely one of my favorites, an instant classic, I guess you could say, because it's not every day I get to read a rock biography that it really pulls my attention the way this one does. You know?
Yeah, and you know I just love Bader's before Lords of the New Church. I'm not into that I've heard,
Mm-hmm.
but you know I like the first solo album, a couple of singles that followed.
Disconnected.
Oh yeah, man! It's one of the albums I couldn't do without, because you know at some point I'm gonna have to start trimming a little fat.
Yeah. it's
At
always
some
good to do
point,
that.
and that will never leave,
Yeah.
because I think that's such a great album.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, nobody talks about the goth Steve Baders. They just kind of pretend it didn't happen. But man, he was
No, I mean, shit.
straight up like that.
I know some hardcore, you know.
He was straight up like that.
Yeah, Lords of the New Church fans. I know some really hardcore fans of that band. You know.
I don't get it. It's not for me. Not that it's not, you know, it's got its place.
Yeah.
They were like a super band.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't remember who the fuck else was in it, but there was other
Brian
people in it.
James was in it
Oh.
from the Damned, and gosh, I'm drawing a blank on that one.
Let's talk about these.
Okay, this is another one of the things that me and Neil both have. A couple different editions. He's got Bob on the cover. I've got Alton Ellis on mine. I think mine might be
Yours is newer,
a
obviously.
little newer. This is the third edition. They've probably come out with editions since then, but let me tell you about the Rough Guide to Reggae. So Steve Barrow is got one of the coolest jobs ever. I mean, he got to interview everybody who was somebody in Jamaica, at least in terms of the the roots and the roots of the music.
I'm surprised John Lydon didn't go that way as an A&R man.
Yeah, yeah.
I guess
The
he-
Rough Guide to Reggae, though, is a discography. It's a novel. It just goes through everything from the beginnings of Jamaican music, like Jamaican calypso, aka mento,
Mento. Love Mento.
through the dance.
It's got little. It's not. I don't think it'll focus, but you know.
Up, you're bending the spine.
Dude, this thing has been through hell.
Yeah.
You know how many times I've taken this to Philly?
Yeah.
And look at it. Look at how yellowed it is. It's
It
been
is.
you know it's one of those books, dude. I used it as a record buying guide. Every book I had that I used as a record buying guide, like that Sniff and Glue down there, it's beat up because I would just take it everywhere, under my arm, every record store looking for like the records that I wanted. And I have so many of these, and so do you.
Yeah. Again, this is something where I'll never ever be able to get everything in the book.
Yeah, you can.
The ones that they say are essential to any decent record collection are starred, and so of course I made it a priority to get all the stars I could. In short, this is the most expensive book I've ever bought because of what it made me buy after I bought it, which was like everything.
So you remember selling me this one?
Well, yeah, I do. I don't remember selling it to you. I remember you getting it after I got an updated version.
I gave you like $10.
$10 for it. Well, that's not bad.
No,
That's not bad.
it's not. But why did you decide to pass this one on to me?
I mean, aside of me wanting to really sink in,
Yeah.
into it. I guess that answers my own question.
Yeah. But yeah, I can't say enough. I can't recommend this one enough.
Just my reggae CDs are from that Augustus Pablo set to that Reggae Salute down there. That's just the CDs.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no, there's more CDs because there's some over in that line. There's 45s, all of those. That's all modern. From this, and this is the dancehall vibes. It's all modern stuff that it doesn't have like a CD or anything. So there's 173.
Wow. Another thing about Steve Barrow is that he was a true fan of the music from the beginnings, and he stayed with it all the way.
He did.
I don't think there's. I mean, it'd be hard to find somebody who liked rock that liked all everything about rock from the.
Forget it.
From the 40s on.
Forget it. Forget it.
So he he had a record label, Blood and Fire Records, that I've got everything on the label on that came out on that label, and everything he did after that label, and it's all worthwhile roots reggae music.
Speaking of which, Steve Barr, Stuart Baker.
Never heard that one.
Me neither, but this is the 45 art from 59 to 79. I got that for Christmas a few years ago. Like the back. I know when I just want everybody to know when they see this backwards. If you really want to know what that says, you can figure it out. My viewers aren't stupid.
Right.
You know what that says. Somebody mentioned that to me the other day. I don't remember who it was.
Oh, really?
It's backwards.
Oh, yeah.
You figure it out.
Just got to play your phone in the mirror,
Or you can figure it out.
Right.
Yeah, I got a lot of these. I started from the beginning with this, and it's funny because you know how many versions there are of this J. Clue and his Blues Blasters. From
Oh yeah.
You know how many versions there are of that?
No.
I don't even have that version. There's like 10 of these, and they're different. They're different labels and stuff like that, all from late 50s.
Wow.
If you look on Discogs, there's so many of these.
Clement Coxon. Wow. That's worth some money, man. 1959.
It is, unless you get one beat to hell.
Yeah.
Then you can probably get it still for $20.
Oh.
Which I don't like paying $20 for a 45. But I have done it. And I will do it again. I've never spent any more than $30 on a 45. Ever.
Yeah, no, I don't think I have either.
It's like something in my mind says, Neil, you really just gotta be sensible.
Yeah.
This is 2019, 20. It just sucks reading it because I try to keep it in good condition, so I'm like this.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I have like 2 mirrors. I have a little makeup mirror or on the side. I'm trying to eye it. Like I'm looking up a skirt. Fully erect. So I'm just kidding.
Hey, can we do since they're right on top?
The Simpsons? What?
The Beth Lesser books.
Yeah.
All right, so we got a couple of these Beth Lesser books. Beth Lesser was a writer that was into, well, she went to Jamaica in the mid 80s as dancehall culture was exploding, and she was there in this book. This describes how when King Jammy's unleashed the sling tang rhythm, how it just took over the whole island,
Right.
and digital reggae was here to stay, for better or worse. And that's what this
mostly better.
is about.
Some worse.
This is called King Jammy's, Beth Lesser. And then Neil has the whole coffee table book.
Yeah, like the back. I just love the style, that early '80s, like the sound, like they totally stayed away from they rejected the rockers militant style rhythms of the '70s that Augustus Pablo was known for. But that stuff is great too.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my favorite albums of all time is East of the River Nile. I mean, that's just a great. I probably listened to that so many times, but that's for another time to discuss.
Surprised you don't have an Augustus Pablo book in there.
I kind of do in that box set day.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But
See at the Rocker's Story.
It's good. It's old and new. I got his last album that he did too, which was I don't know. I don't want to talk too much about albums, but I don't want to talk too much about music, Yeah. Screw that stuff. It's like crack. I'm like Nicodemus. I don't have any of his. Well, I do. I have one with Little John and Billy Bow, I think, with him, but not just him. Like those 3 The Hard Way, early dance hall things that they were putting out.
Oh, okay.
But I don't have any like Nicodemus. That's coming.
Nice.
He's great. I like him a lot. He even did with Massive B, some stuff like before he died, with Massive B, Bobby Condors, and Jabba.
Uh-huh.
They had him on. There's some good records like Signal to Plane.
Oh yeah.
All right, let's keep it moving. This is so cool though. I love the style.
Oh yeah. Definitely. And take it back. Take it way back.
This guy Goldilocks and Shiny Man.
Nice.
This guy's hard to find stuff from him. Super hard. Should do like this could be the rest of the episode. We're just like looking at this book and
just read this now.
check this out.
I wanted to throw this one, and this is not strictly a music or a rock and roll thing, but this is Allen Ginsberg's Howl, and it is very revolutionary, of course. The beat writers, of which Allen Ginsberg was a member of the original group, especially his poem Howl was like, well, it was just a revolutionary, rebellious thing in 1957 to do, and he really was rebelling against everything, the whole 1950s McCarthyism, America, the atom bomb, and I saw the best minds of my generation destroyed by madness, starving, hysterical, naked, dragging themselves to the streets, searching for an angry fix. Classic stuff.
I like Ginsberg.
I like Ginsberg, and it is linked to rock and roll in my mind because it coincides with the advent of rock and roll itself.
Yeah. Well, the beats, the beatniks.
And the beatniks became, well, they were the prototype of the hippie movement, but they were more than that. They were the first people to really recognize that. They saw. All the elements that they took together, whether it was the bebop jazz, or whether it was the experimenting with psychedelic drugs, or whether it was, the questioning of conventional morality and sexuality and everything, I think it was went right hand in hand with rock and roll to really just change the psychosocial landscape.
I want to know when you bought that book.
I don't even know when this book was gifted to me, but
your memory.
Yeah.
I want to talk about this real quick, real fast. Side note that Burroughs did with Ginsberg.
Oh, the Yeats letters. Yeah, I've read excerpts of those. That's when
And I think it's High. I don't remember. Somebody corrected me one time.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's not Yage.
It's not Yage.
Yeah.
It's like High or something like that.
Right. I know it was grown in South America, so that makes sense.
Where Ginsberg went over there.
No, it was Burroughs.
Well, no, Ginsberg went first.
Oh, he did.
Then Burroughs went and wrote to Ginsberg, I guess, about the experience.
Mm-hmm.
So they were talking like back and forth. It's pretty. I got this book from this is my favorite book, Naked Lunch of all time.
Naked Lunch. It's
my favorite.
Great
novel.
Book. Great.
I want to get another
I like the movie by Cronenberg too. It's a good movie.
It's a movie. But when I got this book, I let a buddy of mine borrow it, and he never gave it back. So this was his book. So I was like, well, I'll keep this, and you can since you seem to like Naked Lunch so much, you can keep that. And I went to the store. It was the Book Warehouse here, the Atlantic.
Oh, I remember Atlantic.
And they were sold out.
Oh, man.
Because, I remember Justin bought one, and I remember, a couple of our other friends bought one, after I raved about it.
Mm-hmm.
And they were sold out, so I ended up getting this one on Amazon, but I still kept this one. That was and then, I got a lot of Burroughs stuff. I think he's great. Big fan. Here's the last stuff he wrote was, in the
Last Words, Final Journal of William Burroughs. I used to live in Lawrence, Kansas. I swear I passed him one day. I lived there right before he died. It was 1994, 95.
Oh, shit. Oh, I need a clock in here.
Yeah.
7:02?
Yeah.
I don't know how long we've been on.
I think it's about that time. You want to do a couple more outro kind of books?
Well, it's not really over.
No, it's never ever. We got enough of these to go on for episodes. So,
I want to talk about.
Oh, you didn't get to sniff and glue.
I'll do that.
Yeah.
Because this is sniff and glue. I don't like to open it too much because it's as you can see, all of the photo pages are coming out before you get to this is
text.
And this is not like the punk one.
Right, the best of
that's
punk
like
things.
a best of. This is every one.
This is the
It's
anthology.
every one right in there. And I bought some stuff. Yeah, I remember the first thing I bought out of here that wasn't punk that I thought would have been was Blue Oyster Cult because I reviewed it.
Oh, okay. Well,
And I got it. I'm like, well, this isn't.
Yeah.
This ain't heavy.
Well, yeah. That was what was there at the time.
And so I got into Throbbing Gristle way back then, and I lumped them into punk. I just thought they were a punk band for years. And I guess they kind of were, but
yeah. I mean,
don't tell that to Genesis P. Ordridge.
Oh, we don't want to hear that. Yeah, because he fought against those people. Yeah, they were.
Even though they did an album with ATB and Mark Perry in them, which is a pretty much. He was like we're not punk.
Right.
But
And of course, he was the guy behind punk. Sniff and Glue was Mark Perry.
Yeah.
What did he call himself? It wasn't Mark Perry, wasn't he? Did he call himself something else? I don't know.
No, I don't think so.
He always called himself something.
Mm-hmm. Yep, Lee Perry's brother. I'm just kidding.
From another mother.
We put out all this misinformation.
Yeah.
Mark Perry, Lee Perry's brother. There's Don Letts.
Oh yeah, I got to
Gorillas. They were more of
There was a Gorillas before the Gorillas.
Yeah.
I'll be damned, because everybody knows there's a very successful group called the Gorillas.
Well, no, all right. They were also called the Hammersmith.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, see. It's all like the 70s shit.
That's pub rock, right?
Yeah.
Like the so-called pub rock.
But you got it too, Eddie and the Hot Rods.
I love that stuff.
Me too. Slaughter and the Dogs were a pub rock band.
Love Slaughtering the Dogs.
I even like some of their '80s stuff. I thought was okay.
I don't think I'm too familiar with the '80s stuff, but I when I saw them, just a couple of years back,
I
they were-
bet that was cool.
that was really good. And since they've split, the singer and the guitar player are not getting along again. So
Well, we'll be coming back to you
next week with another
next week because
right.
it's an inside joke.
But until then, I guess, can I say it?
Yeah.
All right. Zip, zam, bowie, and swoosh, y'all.
Y'all.